The goal of this week's readings is to help you contextualize the ways in which the discussion about advanced AI systems, and in particular general purpose AI or superintelligence, has deep philosophical roots. And so it's important for you to be clear about these theoretical, philosophical, conceptual questions that enrich the landscape and all the content you have been engaging with in attempting to clarify what the systems are and how they work, and to dive a bit deeper into machine learning engineering, and as we'll see next week, into large language models. And so the story, we could say, starts with this book by the philosopher Nick Bostrom, who is an Oxford professor. And he wrote this philosophy book that has a lot of speculations and conceptualizations of what getting advanced AIs could look like, what are some possible paths to those systems, and of course, what we are especially interested in, the various concerns regarding AI safety, AI alignment, and possible misalignment. And his work, his book, which is now one of the oldest texts that concretely address concerns about AI safety long before the deep learning revolution of 2015, and long before having all this technology with chatbots and large language models. So way long ago, Nick Bostrom created a framework for at least discussing how humanity could be facing these challenges. And so we will be reading some excerpts from his book, again for the sake of contextualizing the conversation, especially when you now have a lot of exposure to the technical information, the technical side of ML engineering. And so the question that you would be asking pretty naturally is, what is superintelligence? How would we create those systems? And Bostrom talks about the different paths to AGI, artificial general intelligence or general purpose intelligence. He talks about whole brain emulation, so starting from human brains and trying to advance them into not just the human level of intelligence, but something beyond that. And he's talking about how the compute changes could lead to advanced systems. But of course, all these processes are complicated, and they do have a technical aspect that you might be interested in exploring further. I just want you to keep in mind that he's already speculating how we could get to superintelligent systems. And back to where we are now, and what we observe in the historical present, which is that AI labs are in a technological arms race, as many people call it. In other words, there are several AI labs, especially known for their large language models, the systems that we use for the chatbot technology. And these labs are trying to get to more advanced systems and especially get there first. That's the meaning of being in an arms race, who's going to get the best system first. And of course, understanding that by doing so, they will be in control of several things at the societal level and potentially shaping the future of humanity. And so that's the first thing to keep in mind from these readings. The question that you may naturally ask is, would this happen anytime soon? And the quick answer would be, well, it's been going pretty well so far for AI labs. And the current state of the art of AI, as you know, is these LLMs and some models that are very good with video creation, as you may find around. So the answer would be, we don't really know when it could happen, but deep learning seems like a very promising technology. And so we should be thinking about it, if not specifically preparing for the possibility of very capable AI systems being available in the short-term future. Another question you may ask is, okay, we have these LLMs. What do? They just manipulate human language, natural language, as you may find it called in some other context. But why would language be so important? Okay, ChatGPT can produce text. Why is that such a big deal? And if you go back to the first week of the course, you will be reminded that the original AI program was all about imitating the cognitive abilities of humans, starting from the linguistic ability. And this is because language allows for the creation of different abstractions, the creation of concepts that can be very powerful for human societies and for civilization to evolve, for problem solving, various kinds. And the usefulness of language is such that extends beyond just speech. It's not just about talking, it's all the things that you can create from having refined linguistic capabilities. So I hope by now you're convinced as to why language is so crucial for intelligence and for actually doing things. And it's not just simply about talking. It goes way beyond that level of talking. And therefore, the speculation here could be that we start from large language models that manipulate linguistic content, that are very good with language. But what we end up getting could be some general purpose systems, just like humans were able to use language in very creative ways and in very productive ways and change their lives very importantly and bootstrap themselves and improve the quality of their lives. And so if deep learning, again, which is the technology underlying these systems, LLMs, if this keeps going well, which is what this scaling hypothesis suggests, we might be moving towards increasingly more powerful systems, eventually going from these lower level systems like GPT-2, GPT-3, GPT-4, which is now available, we might be having systems that are at the human level of cognitive ability. And if the scaling hypothesis is correct, it could eventually lead to super intelligent systems, as Bostrom was speculating it would be possible. So this is something worth thinking about and trying to concretely consider how that could actually be the case and what would that mean and whether humanity is ready for that. And chances are humanity is not at the moment ready for general purpose systems or super intelligent systems.